Welcome back to the Broker to Broker podcast. Excited to kick off 2021 with season 2. My name is Mark Summers. I'm the president of AIM, stands for the Association of Independent Mortgage Experts. Had a brief interview with this individual before. Really excited to interview Amanda Stevenson, who's a producing loan officer for the Stevenson Lending Group at Answer Home Loans. Amanda, thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. You know, this is going to be an easy one because my wife's name is Amanda, so I can't screw your name up on this one. So this is going to be easy here. So no, thank you for joining us today. We're going to have a good time doing this. Really excited about the discussion we're about to have. So before we really start hopping into things here, one of my most favorite things about this industry, about our community, is learning about how you got into the business, because I know personally, when I was in middle school, high school, or college, I didn't want to be a mortgage broker. Didn't even know what it was. And I'm pretty sure everyone I spoke to feels the same way. So give us a little background on yourself and how you got into this channel.
Okay. So growing up, my dad was actually a broker. So it's kind of in my blood. It's in my family. He owned a Better Homes and Realty and had a mortgage company as well. And from the time I was like 10 or 11 years old, I would go into the office and, help him answer phones. And he really integrated the family into the business. And we knew all of his investors and, his clients. And so it was super fun. I didn't really know what a broker was when I was little. I knew what loan to value meant. I knew what all those fun broker terms were, but I did not know what it really meant. So as I got older, it wasn't something that I wanted to pursue myself. I went into college. He talked me into getting my real estate license, which is what you needed to produce loans at that time in California, when I was 20 years old in college. So that's what I did. I was the youngest person in my real estate class.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun little fact right there.
Yeah. So I was 20 years old. It was a bunch of retired cops and stay-at-home moms and, some young people in their 20s that wanted to get into the industry. And I got my license and I started working in the industry, and the rest is history. It took off from there.
Still loving it, I assume, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Even a greater love for it now that I'm so far into my career.
Yeah. The thing that I learned about it, I started, I'm still a broker, still a producing loan officer. The thing I learned, in 2001, when I started, you're just getting I was getting my feet wet, trying to figure things out, trying to make as much money as I could. But what I learned real fast is how big of an impact we have on people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't express that, but we have a huge impact on people's life. So I know you do a great job where you're at. So tell me your business. Tell me what type of loans, what type of loans do you focus on? What type of clients do you focus on?
So we do every type of loan, of course. We offer every type of loan, but really what we focus on and the type of client that we target, I guess, is we try to specialize in VA home loans. So my team has been trained extensively on the VA home loan. We keep up on the guide. 25% of the business that we do, a lot of purchases, a lot of refis, sometimes even more depending on the given month. We do a lot of public service employee loans, a lot of police, fire, nurses, doctors, teachers, things like that. So that's really where we strive to excel, is in that community. And we enjoy doing it. And, we feel like it's an opportunity for us to give something back and make sure that they have the best service possible. So that's really what we as a group are focusing on right now.
Now, how did you get into that community? I mean, that's a tough community to crack within reason. How did you focus on it? Did you did you do one and get a referral? Then it was a trickle down effect. How did you get there?
Yeah. So I'm in a law enforcement public service family. So brothers are both fire and police. My husband's a detective.
Oh, wow.
And then just naturally you're surrounded by that community because those are your friends and family, essentially. So it just kind of spiraled. You get one client, you do a really good job, and then you get another client, you do a really good job, and they pass you on. And that community as a whole tends to be very committed to the people that they work with. And so we gain a lot of referrals from CHP and the different bases in our military bases in our community and police and whatnot. So.
Nice. So obviously because of your background and who you're married to, family and all that stuff, that's why, you're so embedded in that community. And that is a tight knit community, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
My brother's a police officer in the military, all that good stuff. And tons of my referrals come from him, you know what I mean? Because it's a tight knit community that just trusts each other.
100%. And, we speak the same language. So it's just a natural relationship from the start. And then it's really fun because you end up becoming friends with your clients and getting referrals that they're friends with. And then it's just a big circular event, because your clients know one another. And it's really fun to have conversations with clients and start putting the pieces together about the people that you know and have worked with. And it really solidifies the relationship right up front, because if you've worked with their friends or family or coworkers or someone they know and trust, they're going to trust you, or they're going to ask that person about you immediately. And then, it's a done deal from there. So it makes our jobs a little bit easier.
Yeah, and that's what I love about our community is that we're embedded in so many different communities and so many different areas that we have consumers, which is our number one concern that we try to take care of right up front. I mean, and the fact that you're in it, they're going to you because you're Amanda, not because you're with Answer Home Loans or I'm sorry, the Stevenson Lending Group. I apologize. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the beautiful thing about it is we humanize these things.
Right.
And we make and we help people make the biggest financial decision of their life, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a lot of fun for us too, because my daughter's my assistant. So a lot of, the people that we work with, she's known from the time she was little, or maybe we're working with their kids and she grew up with their kids. We're starting to do loans for her friends, which is really, really aging me, freaking me out. But it's
weird,
important.
Isn't it?
It's so weird. I'm like, wait, you're how old? Okay, let's do this. But it really, really is important to me to help the people around me to make sure that they're being served in the way that they deserve. So you hear a lot of horror stories about, oh, my loan was a nightmare, or, it could have gone differently, or I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't have enough communication. And so as a team, we've really worked so hard to perfect those processes. And we make sure that every single client feels special, or that they feel like they got the attention they deserve. Their their questions were answered. Whatever it is that particular client needs, and it's different for every single client. And so you really have to figure that out and cater your process to that client. That's what we deliver. And if someone comes to me and they're already with someone they really like and they really trust and they're happy, then I encourage them to stay where they're at, because I believe in, not just taking a deal from another broker, but making sure that everybody can excel to the best of their ability. So That's what's important to me.
Yeah, no, and I can't tell you how many people I have personally told, hey, you're with XYZ broker down the street from me. With them, if you want me to review anything for you, just if they're not answering your questions, I'm more than happy to do it.
100%.
Because once you just take care of people, the money comes after, and all that good stuff comes after.
Yeah, the abundance mindset is huge.
It's a great way of putting it. So I know you said you do VA loans quite a bit. That's an area I think a lot of people would love to be. I think I don't want to call it intimidating. It's just a lot of knowledge out there, a lot of knowledgeable people. So what's your advice on people who want to jump into VA, or even consumers? Where should they go for VA financing, help, training? Where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah. Well, they should come to me for VA financing in California. But there's a lot of resources online. I joined an organization called VA Rep. It's a Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. We have a chapter in every single state, in almost every single county in that state. So getting involved with that organization can help on the education side. They offer a lot of classes, a lot of training. You can go to DC or Florida. They have different conferences and get your certification and training in different areas. And then just really good old fashioned guidelines. I mean, I go to trainings that are sometimes outdated. I mean, things change all the time. So really, hitting those guidelines again and refreshing your memory on certain things, and immersing yourself in the community of brokers that are heavily involved in the VA community and doing VA loans, because you can learn a lot from your peers. So that's really where we have gone for the training. There's a bunch of online trainings, and I know that some of our wholesale lenders offer trainings as well. So you can look those up. You just have to remember that sometimes the trainings are only for that lender's guidelines, right? So going back to the full set of guides straight from the VA and reading those again, even though it's like 1,000-page guideline, just kind of skimming them. I did it one time. I was about to do a training and I wanted to refresh my memory, and I was at my son's baseball game. So I just brought, all 1,000 pages and just sat there and flipped through it and highlighted certain things that I felt were important to touch on at my next training. So it's that simple, really.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a lost art almost. These guidelines change all the time. We have to remember this is our job. This is why we're the experts. And I'm not telling everyone to sit here and read them every night, but at the same time, it's good to pick them up a couple times a year, month, whatever, flip through some specific topics and become better. That's what we're here for. We're trying to become better, and we're trying to make other people better.
Yeah. And then you can also call the VA directly if you can't figure out the answer to one of your questions. So there is a VA loan center. There's an 800 number. You can look it up online, or we can post it after this podcast for everybody to see. And that's a very useful resource. You'll get someone right away, believe it or not, and they will walk you right through black and white how to figure out eligibility if a veteran has more than one loan. Just anything that you need, they are absolute experts. And the other thing I want to mention is don't be afraid to challenge your underwriter on the guidelines. I do it all of the time. Now, challenge in a very polite and respectful way.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, because they're our teammates.
Right. But pick up the phone or send an email and just say, hey, this is what I found in the guidelines. Clip a section of your guidelines, or this is what I have found when I've called the VA Resource Center, and reiterate a conversation. And sometimes they will go, oh, you know what? You're right. We can absolutely do that, or we can change that, or we can get rid of this or that. And it will make a big difference in your career, because once you have a client that maybe had a loan declined and you're like, no, we can do that, and then you challenge an underwriter on it and you win, that client is with you for life.
Yeah.
And it's fun,
Yeah. I had a really, really unique VA file, which I don't do a ton of them. I need to do more. I need to be more educated. I know that. So don't yell at me about that. But at the same time, my client, the veteran actually called the VA office and actually got some sort of waiver. I can't remember what it was. This is a few years ago, about the roof itself, where the appraiser was going on about, nope, this is not a stable roof to my satisfactory, but he got a waiver or some sort of, I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
but
you can challenge
I agree
that.
with you. We need to challenge it. You need to challenge them, because, the veterans are obviously a big part of just America.
Yeah.
And we know that, and they're willing to bend with them a little bit, as long as you challenge them and move forward.
Yeah. The appraisal system within the VA is still a little behind the times. I like to call them archaic, and they are. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on that system, and they know that. Like with anything else in the VA system, it's a very slow moving process. So it's getting better little by little, and we're continuing to advocate for that and meet with VA appraisers and talk to them about what we would like to see and the changes we'd like to see. And then they're bringing it back to the VA. So little by little, there are changes being made on the product. A lot of new changes this year. I encourage every loan officer out there to find out what those changes are. We can talk, we can go through that another time too. Also just get involved and advocate for veterans as a whole, as it pertains to the home loan, because nobody does. So all the laws, changes to disclosures, things like that, that all comes from us advocating for them. So.
Yes, absolutely. So obviously you're really knowledgeable about VA. I can already tell. I love hearing stories. I'm a big story guy. So tell me a story, give me an example on any type of deal, whether it's fun, I don't care, that saved a deal with your knowledge, being a mortgage expert in the VA side of things.
Well, retail lenders, they have a certain set of guidelines that are totally different than our guidelines. So I do get a lot of, I don't have a specific, story about it, but I do get a lot of business from retail lenders because they can't do certain things. They, can't lend up to 100% loan to value, regardless of the county loan limit in certain areas and things like that. There have been some changes that not all loan officers know about. You don't actually need a Section 1 pest clearance all the time anymore. So there was a deal that I actually was given after they'd gotten pre-approved with another lender, retail lender. And they were told that they absolutely needed a Section 1 pest clearance. I knew we didn't. They were buying a super high-end home. It was $1.5 million home. It didn't have any major pest damage due to infestation anyway. And so we were able to bypass that Section 1 clearance. I was able to get the loan, and the clients were super happy about it. It was self-employed also, by the way, which is very hard right now. So I guess it's not that great of a story. It's not that fun. They're really good friends of mine now, great people. But I was able to do the deal that they didn't think they were going to be able to get. And it was on a home they absolutely love. So that was a great story.
Yeah, you just told me a story right there. I know you don't think you're telling stories, you're telling stories. And first,
I just wasn't that, I was looking for something amazing. If I had more time to think about it, I'd probably come up with a better story. But we did another one where we did a split entitlement between daughter and father, which is kind of unusual. Most lenders won't do it. They'd been with another lender. She was trying to qualify on her own, didn't have enough income to qualify for what she wanted. Dad was moving in with her. He's a veteran too. I said, let's split entitlement. Let's do this together. You don't have to be married in that situation. So we did that. It was really cool. Something that I actually had to challenge the underwriter on. So that was fun. And the underwriter and I totally geek out on the VA guidelines together. And we do a lot of VA loans together. We have a really good relationship. So yeah.
And that's right. I'm going to start using that term, geek out. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to geek out on stuff. We're going to geek out on mortgages. No, you actually told, you told some great stories there. I always love telling stories or hearing about how people took deals away from retail. You know what I mean? And because of your expertise, you were able to help a family out. Those are my favorite stories right there. So great job on that. All right, let's hop into the next subject here, because this is a big one for me. We've been doing weekly sales meetings. We've been trying to tell the community within reason to ramp up, build your team properly. 2020, I can only assume for you, was arguably one of your best years. I know for myself, it was my best year. So tell me about your team right now. What do you have going on with your team?
Okay, so I have an assistant, basically.
Who's your daughter?
My daughter. She's awesome. She's like the best assistant I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. She's truly like amazing. She deals with all client conditions. So essentially, after I sell the loan, get the client gets into contract, or the refinance is set up, whatever that looks like, priced, ready to go. She works with the clients to gather all their documentation, works with my processor then to submit the loan, and then goes back to the client with the conditions. I get involved if I have to, if there's heavy conditions or something confusing. But really, I'm completely removed from the paperwork side of things, as far as getting a good picture of a pay stub and all of that fun stuff. So it really allows me to focus on the producing side of things, which is my job. I have a full-time, fully licensed loan officer assistant as well. That helps me really focus on refinancing our clients, our past clients, our clients that are referred to us that we've never done a loan with before, and manage our database. So he's just constantly going through our database, trying to add value, sending information to our clients, calling them, updating their information, letting them know when they're eligible to refinance or when they can benefit from a refinance. And then I have a rock star processor that like literally he's everything in my business. He's
In-house or third party?
He's a third party, but he actually only works with loan officers at my company. So he works with
nice.
like four of our top producing loan officers. And he's a killer. Like he can do 60 or 70 loans in a month, which is just unheard of for a processor. So we talked a little bit yesterday about building a team and kind of stepping outside of some of the fears that you have about, giving up control in your business. And
okay, hold on here. I want everyone to listen here. We're talking about building your team now. This is something we've been harping on people about. So tell me how you're building your team. Go.
Okay. So, I'm not just a loan officer or a professional. I'm a mother of 3. I've got a husband. I've got 4 dogs, which is a full-time job, by the way.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really feel like balance in life is super important to have healthy relationships outside of work, So I think that for a very long time, I was stuck at producing 5 to 7 a month, and I couldn't get outside of that. And I had other factors that were contributing to that with the children and stuff like that. But at the same time, I also had control issues, and I had to take a really, really good look at my business. And actually I got with a coach that focused less on business and more on fears. And we dug a little deeper into that type of stuff. And really it came down to, I was scared to allow anyone else to communicate with my clients or have a piece of the business because I was scared that they weren't going to be able to take care of those clients like I could. And I see a lot of these one-man shops, and it's pretty amazing because they're actually doing big, big numbers, and they have to be working 10 to 12 hours a day or more. And I just feel like for me personally, it just was not a healthy situation. So I started building my team little by little. I had an assistant that I brought on before I brought my daughter on. She unfortunately had to get out of the business due to some family issues or whatnot. So, or out of the brokering world due to some family issues. So that's when my daughter approached me. She just graduated college and said, can I come on? So she came on, and really my daughter is the one that said, hey, let's take a look at some of the processes here. And if you'll allow me, let me restructure some stuff. And so she had some great ideas. We restructured the way that I was looking at what my assistant did and what her tasks were, his tasks were. And we really defined each role within the group. And we've done such a great job this year of, balancing our time, personal and professional. And it's given us the opportunity to just pump out those loans and be the best we could be every single day. So that's basically what is happening. We may end up bringing on another producing loan officer because we're well over capacity. I'm working way more hours than I'd like to be.
We all are right now, right?
Yeah, that would be nice. But I don't want to get it to the point where I'm managing, loan officers. I mean, if I was going to do that, I'd just open my own office. I've done that before. It's not something I enjoy. So if we can have a smaller group and a smaller team, operating around a 300 unit a month, gosh, I wish 3 to 400 unit a year consistently, that would be amazing. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Good. Yeah, no, it sounds like you're ramping up. You've already ramped up, and just like we said before, 2021 is going to be great. So hearing everything that you just said there is it's a lot of fears I personally had, building my team and moving forward. I'm kind of, in certain senses, a control freak. In other senses, I just don't care, but so it sounds like to me like a big thing for you was trust.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's trust and giving up control. So how did you learn how to do that? Give me something here. Like, giving up trust and control is a hard thing to do.
Well, one, I think you just have to get over yourself. First of all,
plain and simple, get over yourself.
Yeah. Get over yourself. Like you're not the end all be all to mortgage, right? Even though you've worked super hard for those clients, there's other people that you could bring on your team that in time you can trust. So it's really just a matter of figuring out what that person looks like and finding them, taking your time, maybe getting personal referrals from other people in the business. worked well for me, obviously, with my daughter. And then also, I've never really gone out and looked for anyone. They've come to me, and it's always been like the perfect timing and the perfect person. So that's what has worked for me, just finding the right person and then working with them until you feel comfortable enough to really integrate them into your business.
Yeah,
And defining their role is super, super important, because if they're not really sure what they should be doing, or they're kind of, you really have to define that role and let them have some say in it, in my opinion. Sometimes, opinions outside of your own really spark growth.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're bringing back just something I just had with one of my employees. It was, everything was going fine, but I knew they could do better. So I had to basically define their role exactly. And then, as you said, I didn't say it this way, but I guess looking back on it, it's true, is get over myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's super important. I mean, we got to get out of our own way. There's good people in this world. We got to find the good people and let them do their job.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're never going to, you're only one person, so you can only do so much, right? And you don't want to kill yourself trying to do so much business, because then you can't enjoy your life. And what's it all for then? So, it works really, really well for me. I'm super happy. I love to travel. I've never been able to take a vacation, before the last 24 months without my computer on the beach. That's just the way I took my vacations. And I don't want to do that anymore. So now I take my vacations and I can leave the production and the whole everything, our pipeline to my assistants for a week, and go do what I want to do and come back and everything's running smoothly. And there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, one thing I've spoke about as well is talking about mental health and getting away, and, a week away, 4 days away, whatever it is, just to get away is stuff we need at times, because we are under a lot of stress because we're helping out, people in our community. So I think it's really important. Tell me, so you're obviously really successful. Let's say I'm an up and coming broker. We're always up and coming in my eyes. What are some stepping stones to look for in your path to success?
Being intentional in what you want to do in your business. So I think it's super important to have goals and set a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're going to flounder. Yep. A lot of what I see is that nobody is telling us what to do. Nobody is directing us in a certain direction. Nobody is making us get up for work every day instead of, I'm an hour from Tahoe. I want to go ski every single day. It's not realistic for me to be able to do that. So I think it's treating it like more than just a job. It's your career. Take the initiative to want to grow your business for yourself, set a plan, set your goals in place, and go get them. I think the other thing, I've always kind of beat to the tune of my own drum, done my own thing. I do not like following the crowd at all. So try to step outside of what everybody else is doing, think outside of the box, get creative. And my thing is don't do anything you don't enjoy. If you don't enjoy going to mixers, don't go to mixers. If you don't enjoy, certain aspects of getting business, then don't do it that way. Do it a different way, because you're going to grow in the spaces that you're really good in or that you excel in. So really focus on that it goes back to the VA home loans, or going after public service, or whatever type of business. Go after the business that you enjoy, or the people you enjoy being around, or the community you want to serve. Find your space there. So.
Yeah, I like that. Be intentional. Yeah. That's hitting the nail on the head. I agree with you 100% wholeheartedly with, if you don't like doing certain things, don't do them, but at the same time, and we also have to get better at things we need to get better at, so.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what I think and I think that's what this community provides. And you're helping us out is, being able to talk to certain people, getting outside your box a little bit to become better.
Yeah. Yeah. And just figure out what that looks like for you. It's not going to be the same as your buddy or, your broker or another loan officer in your office. And also just immerse yourself in your broker community. Like, I am actually in a women's group, and most of us are lenders. We're all in the real estate community in some way. I would say 90% of us are lenders. And instead of looking at one another like we are, competing against one another, we share constantly. And I've learned so much from those ladies. So just really, whether it be AIM or, another association, really immerse yourself in a community with professionals that are like-minded, and that's going to lift you. I constantly talk to producers, and I think we have over 100 loan officers at Answer Home Loans right now. And I don't know every single one of them. I know, a lot of them. I think I was number 3 in this company. As far as there was only 3 of us when I came on, three producing loan officers. And so, really sharing and communicating with those individuals and finding out what they've done to become successful really helps, instead of looking at them like your competitors.
So you are doing something right now. I've spoke at tons of engagements and talked about AIM and whatnot. And my favorite thing is what you're hitting the nail on the head right now, which is the community, surrounding yourself with a community that's going to help you get better. It's, I always tell the story. If this was 5 years ago and you were a broker down the street from me, I hated you. I have no idea why, but I hated you, but it's just like, there's so much business out there. We're only about 20% of the market right now. Let's help each other out. And once we get to that 80-90%, we'll have a different conversation. So I love that. I love everything that you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Coming from a space of abundance is so important, because once you let go of that idea that you need to have all the business or everybody is your competitor, it changes the way you look at your business.
Awesome. Absolutely love it. All right. So we're winding down here. Obviously I appreciate your time. I know we're all busy, so I'm going to be respectful of your time here. I got to come up with a tagline for this or something, but I want you to give advice here. Whether it's to an up and coming loan officer, a veteran, someone in our community, maybe it's just our community, what advice would you give to our community right now?
Like just general advice?
Yeah. Something we're lacking.
Yeah, no, have integrity in every single thing you do. Even if someone's not watching you, you need to be making the right decisions. So unfortunately, I feel in the lending industry, in certain facets, and I think this is every single, job out there, there's some integrity lacking. And I think just taking personal responsibility for every single loan that comes across your desk and delivering the best possible service that you can is so super important for your future now and building your business into the future. And then just be humble. I think, it's super easy to get frustrated with people and, oh gosh, these people can't get their documents to me, or whatever it is, we get so busy and we get super frustrated, like with the smallest stuff, because we are so busy and we're trying to do so many loans and serve so many families. Just take a step back for a minute. Sometimes I need to do this myself, and put yourself in their shoes and empathize with that person's situation. And it'll bring you back down, and you'll be like, gosh, I'm a jerk. Like, I need to just chill for a minute, understand where they're coming from, put myself in their position. It's super emotional. I was thinking about selling my house and buying a new one, and I was like stressing over it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm just acting just like my clients, and I laugh at them. So it is a stressful situation. It is a stressful time in people's lives. So I think just empathizing with people, being humble, and being, having some integrity, and having a lot of integrity in what you do every single day in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, there's a ton of horror stories out there, unfortunately, and it may not be from the broker side. It could be from retail side. It could be from both for all I care. But we've all spoke to consumers where they said, hey, they got to the closing table and it changed by thousands of dollars, and it's just having that integrity and having that upfront honesty with people about the situation that they're in. You didn't create the situation, so your job is to be the expert and guide them along.
Yeah. I think people are pretty, because of the changes in our disclosures and our laws, they're pretty safe from the deal completely flipping like it used to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that it's very easy to become a loan officer, and it's very easy to say yes to everybody. Right. And so if you say yes to someone and you've missed pieces that you were supposed to, pre-underwrite before it got to you. And then they get into underwriting and it all blows up. That's really a family that got super excited about a house, a realtor that took a bunch of time to find them a home, sellers on the other side. You just really have to be intentional, slow down, and make sure you know what you're doing and you're doing right by your clients and the professionals around you. You're not going to be able to build your business if you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got to remember at all times, these are human beings, with the same fears, struggles that we have, they're just not a file.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, Amanda, listen, thank you so much for your time. I know we're all extremely busy right now, and just the fact that you've taken the time out to discuss your business, how you do your business, trials, tribulations, history, everything. I just want to thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. So listen, everyone, and listen, brokers, if you want to get caught up on all of our podcast episodes, please head over to aimgroup.com. Go to our podcast, or it's also known as Broker to Broker, as everyone knows here. But you can also listen to all of the Broker to Broker podcast episodes on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And I'm sure there's probably 5 more that I don't know about. My age is catching up on me right now. I don't know every podcast provider. But please when you do listen, please download them. And while you're there, please rate our podcast and leave a review. It helps us get the podcast out there and spread the word. And the word that we're trying to spread is brokers are better. So Amanda, once again, thank you so much for your time. And my name is Mark Summers. I'm the president of AIM, and we'll see you on our next podcast.